Adventures of the Ruby Rooster, a children's tale. In a quaint and quiet village, there lived a unique red rooster named Rufus. With his vibrant feathers and an air of confidence that was impossible to ignore, he was the heart and soul of this tiny community. Known for his punctuality and spirit, he was much more than just an ordinary rooster. Rufus was a handsome bird with a crown of fiery red feathers that stood out against his deep russet body. His eyes sparkled with mischief and intelligence. But it was his personality that truly caught one's attention. He was brave, dutiful, and had an infectious zest for life that rubbed off on all the villagers. Every morning, as the first rays of the sun painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, Rufus would perch on the highest rooftop. With a deep breath, he would let out a loud crow, waking up the entire village. This was their alarm, their wake-up call, and the start of a new day. Rufus wasn't alone in his daily tasks. He had two steadfast friends by his side, Bella the bunny and Oliver the owl. Bella, with her soft white fur and twitching nose, was as playful as she was kind. Oliver, on the other hand, was wise beyond his years. His hoots often carried advice that was sought by many. The villagers had a deep-rooted dependency on Rufus. His crow was the signal for the bakers to start kneading their dough, for the farmers to head to their fields, and for the children to get ready for school. Despite being a small bird, Rufus had a huge responsibility, and he carried it out with utmost dedication. One fine morning, the village woke up to an unusual silence. Rufus, who was as regular as sunrise with his crowing, had failed to wake them up. The village was disoriented, their routine disrupted by the absence of Rufus's resounding wake-up call. Rufus's friends, Bella and Oliver, were quick to notice his silence. They saw Rufus sitting quietly on his usual perch, looking forlorn. They had never seen their friend, usually so full of spirit, look so desolate. They decided they needed to help Rufus. Bella and Oliver approached Rufus, their hearts heavy with concern. They gently prodded him, trying to understand what had caused their friend's silence. Rufus, usually so open with his emotions, seemed to be holding something back. Finally, after much coaxing, Rufus revealed his deep-seated dream. He confessed his desire to explore the world beyond the confines of their tiny village. His heart yearned for a grand adventure, to see the sights and hear the sounds of the unknown. Bella and Oliver listened to Rufus's dreams with wide eyes. They could see how much this meant to their friend. They decided right then and there to help Rufus fulfill his dream. They were going to plan the adventure of a lifetime for their friend. Bella and Oliver, after understanding Rufus's dream, began to brainstorm. They devised a plan to take Rufus on an adventure beyond the confines of their tiny village. The bunny and the owl, despite their own apprehensions, stood firm in their decision to help their friend taste the thrill of exploration. The anticipation of the adventure filled the air with excitement. The trio spent days preparing for their journey, gathering food, drawing maps, and rehearsing their plan. Rufus, Bella, and Oliver eagerly awaited the day they would step out into the unknown. Finally, the day arrived. Their journey was challenging, indeed, but the trio's determination was unwavering. They faced obstacles, both anticipated and unexpected, but managed to overcome them together. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing day, and so did their resolve. Their first stop was a dazzling city. Skyscrapers reached up to touch the sky, lights sparkled like stars, and the noise was a symphony of life. Rufus was overwhelmed by the sights and sounds, but there was a spark of fascination in his eyes. As they ventured further, they found themselves in the peaceful countryside. The open fields stretched into the horizon, wildflowers painted the landscape in hues of happiness, and tranquility filled the air. Rufus felt a wave of calm, his heart brimming with joy as he explored this new world. Their second stop was a peaceful countryside, a stark contrast to the city they had just left. It was a vast expanse of open fields dotted with wildflowers, their colors painting a beautiful tapestry against the clear blue sky. Rufus was instantly taken with this place. The tranquility and simplicity of the countryside brought a sense of calm joy to his heart. It was a feeling of freedom he had never experienced before. Next, they ventured into a dense forest, a place filled with mystery and anticipation. The forest was alive with the sounds of unknown creatures, each one adding a unique note to the symphony of nature. Rufus felt a mix of fear and curiosity as they delved deeper into the forest. It was an environment so different from his village or the city and countryside they had visited. As they navigated their way through the forest, they encountered a surprise. Hidden in the shadows of the forest was a wise old fox. Its fur was a mix of silver and gray, reflecting the wisdom that comes with age. The fox's eyes held a certain depth that intrigued Rufus, making him eager to learn from this unexpected encounter. The old fox shared tales of his own adventures and the lessons he had learned along the way. With every story, the fox emphasized the importance of appreciating both one's home and the excitement of new experiences. This advice resonated with Rufus, making him ponder over his own journey. In the heart of the dense forest, they stumbled upon an old, wise fox. His eyes held stories of 1,000 adventures, and he spoke with a calm, soothing voice. He advised Rufus about the importance of cherishing both his home and his thirst for adventure. The world was vast and beautiful, he said, but the comfort and familiarity of home were equally precious. The encounter with the fox marked a turning point in Rufus's adventure. He began to understand the delicate balance between the comfort of home and the thrill of exploration. This realization was a profound moment for Rufus, and he made the decision to return to his beloved village. Rufus took the fox's words to heart. He realized that while the world beyond his village was exciting and full of wonders, his village was where he belonged. His heart ached for the familiar crowing routine, the familiar faces, and the comforting rhythm of his everyday life. He decided it was time to return home. The journey back was filled with shared stories, laughter, and anticipation. Each step they took, each landmark they recognized, brought them closer to the place they called home. Rufus, Bella, and Oliver relished every moment, their hearts swelling with joy as their village came into sight. Their return was met with a warm, joyous welcome from the villagers. They had missed their morning alarm, their beloved red rooster. They gathered around Rufus, Bella, and Oliver, eager to hear about their adventures. The village was buzzing with excitement, happiness, and relief. With his renewed appreciation for his village and his role, Rufus resumed his duties. The next morning, his crow was louder, more joyful. He woke the village up, his heart full of contentment. He realized he did not have to give up his dreams of adventure, but rather find a balance between his duty and his dreams. Rufus was a changed rooster after his grand adventure. The next morning, as the first rays of sun kissed the sky, Rufus crowed with a renewed vigor and joy. His crow was louder, prouder, echoing through the silent village, stirring its inhabitants from their peaceful slumber. The villagers woke up to the familiar sound, a wave of relief washing over them. They had missed their morning alarm, their beloved rooster, more than they had realized. Seeing Rufus back in his usual spot, crowing his heart out, brought a sense of normalcy and happiness back into their lives. Rufus himself felt a shift within him. He was more confident, content, and at peace with his life in the village. His adventure had taught him the importance of his role, and he took pride in it. He was not just a rooster, but the rooster who woke up an entire village, the rooster who held the village together. In the evenings, Rufus, Bella, and Oliver would sit together, reminiscing about their adventure. They would laugh at their fears, marvel at their bravery, and wonder at the places they had seen. Their shared adventure had brought them even closer, their bond stronger than ever. In the end, Rufus learned the importance of balance between duty and dreams. He realized that one did not have to give up one for the other. He could wake up the village every morning and still have his adventures, even if they were just in the stories he now told Bella and Oliver. It was all about finding the right balance, and Rufus had found his.